Can you see me? Can you hear me? Just let me know. Say again. Thank you. Right. We'll be in the woods in a minute. So, how are we all? Happy Christmas. Hope you all had a nice day yesterday. And can we just slow it down a bit, though? Because I'm just struggling to keep up. Thank you. Right. Yes, Humphrey is here. He's just taking Mrs. John for a walk at the moment. We'll be into the woods very, very shortly. He is just over here, as you can see. Very excited because he's out for his big Boxing Day adventure. You can see how beautifully trained we have him. His discipline is practically non-existent. He is tugging like a tractor, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So, are we all well? Did we all have a nice day yesterday? What have we been up to? Hi, Dawn. So let's say hello to, let's see who's on. Say hello, then I'll kind of tell you where we are. And we will get to engage with the furry lummox himself. When he comes off the lead when we get in the woods, we're about to see a bit more of him. As you can see, he is straining at the leash because all he wants right now is to be off in those woods, chasing a ball, sniffing out the animals, and generally doing Humphrey-style stuff. So it's Humphrey on the move, so a feral sprint, just keep up with him. Just been very cold, I would say about 7 or 8 degrees in terms of kind of where 6 degrees, is it? Okay, 6 degrees today. As you can see, we've got we've got a nice bit of blue sky, so it's not terrible weather. It's just wintry. So, like I say, we're just walking up towards the area of the woods where we're going to take him to have a bit of a play, and hopefully he will be sociable. We'll give him some treats, and you can enjoy some time with the boy. And I'll tell you a bit about his history, filling some gaps for those who don't know, because today's all about Humphrey, making Humphrey the star. So let's go back and say hello to see who's on for this tour with the lummox. So we've got Claire with us, Rachel, Tish is there. Hi Tish. Kathy A's with us, and Catherine. Come on, let's just walk on. We've got Dawn. Let's see who else have we got. We've got Anne L. Hi Anne. How's the weather in the northwest? And we've got Adrian B and Steve P. We've got Nicole from Switzerland. Hi Nicole. Guan and Beth. Are you newbies to me? Don't recognise those names. Most welcome. Always good to see the Humphrey. Absolutely. He's pleased to see you, but more than anything, we should calm down a bit now. He's just itching to get off the lead. He's not really what you call a lead kind of dog. He's a free ranger. So, as you will see very shortly. Hi, Sue from York, and Seth. So, yeah, current weather in York, a little bit overcast, but we have got some blue skies around us, about 6 degrees. It's dry. The air's sort of cold. That kind of cold, crisp, just wintry weather, really, just what you'd expect. And just as a location, I just kind of spin us around here. We're off an agricultural area, and we've got the main thoroughfare, the E64, the Leeds to Scarborough Road, running by our side. If you can kind of hear traffic noise in the background, that's because we are kind of near dual carriage. We've got the racecourse in front of us, so we're going to have a walk through the racecourse, and first though, we're going to take into the woods. So let's finish with our hellos. Who else have we got? Sue from York joins us, Janet C. Hi, Pam W. And Elise. Mark is here, Virginia. Josephine, Sue from Oklahoma. Hi, Sue. And who else have we got? We've got Davy K, Catherine B, Rachel from Kansas City. You're most welcome. And hi, Josephine. Steve P. MB's with us. Linda. Hi, Linda from New York. Oh, if we just go to the toilet there, so we'll not film him doing that. And we're coming up to live, which is good because we're about to enter into the woods. And I have signal testers down here. Hi, Sam G and Noreen B. You with us for some Humphrey time? So we're going to be going to the woods in a moment, get him off the lead, and I think we might go into the next one. Obviously, there's a few people down here, so let's go to the next entrance. Hi, Luann has joined us as well. So Stuart is with us, and Agatha, and it's okay, dude. It's not that cold, and not clipping short. Well, I'll tell you a story about that in a second. We're about to go live. I'll tell you why he hasn't his haircut, because he is such a dodger when it comes to anything that makes him look smarter and tidier. You can guarantee he'll find a way to avoid. So I think we're live. So if I haven't said hello to you, I will try and do so. Although, hello, Janie, good to see you. The first thing to say, everybody's happy Christmas. I'll just go back on you and look at me, rather than Humphrey's bum. And happy Christmas, one and all. Hope you had a lovely day yesterday. And it's nice to get out and about on Boxing Day. So yeah, we're doing that kind of thing. Let's get out, give him some exercise. He was very good yesterday. He got a new toy, which he probably set about destroying within a very short period of time. You know, that kind of very Humphrey way of his. But he's out and about. So we're just going to go off the main. We'll go down this side, Tracy, and then go off the lead. Away from that other dog. And then we will see. What do we do? Well, I mean, Boxing Day, obviously, is traditionally a day for families, kind of pastimes. Trip to the pantomime, football, rugby, horse racing, Kempton Park, George VI stakes. There's all manner of kind of pastimes. So I think traditionally it's the day where families get out and about and do things. Do you want to take him off his lead, love? So today, though, of course, is all about just celebrating one of the unlikely celebrities of Hago. Here is my boy Humphrey. Here he is. Humphrey, come here. Come here. Come here. Let's see the nice ladies and gentlemen. Hello. What's this? Humphrey, you ready? So he likes to chase the ball in the woods. As you can see, terribly graceful. He will no doubt start shouting at us, running around. But this is what you have a dog for, right? To have a run around in the woods. So this is Knavesmire Woods. We're sort of between Bishopthorpe and York. We've got the racecourse just in front of us right now. So it's ancient English woodland. Got here, which is it's a very nice place to be. I used to come play here as a kid, so I've got a long-standing relationship. Go this one. So Humphrey chases balls, but he's not very good at giving them up. So consequently, we take 2 balls out on a walk with us, which is kind of the norm, really. And then we spend half our time looking for them. But there he is. He's found that one. So he likes to have a ball in his mouth and then have another ball, which he chases. So he isn't he's not really trained, has to be said. But in our defence, we got him as an adult dog. So for those that don't know the Humphrey kind of saga, we'd be kind of thinking about, he is a big fun, isn't he? We've been thinking about getting a dog for quite a long time, actually. But for one thing or another, it didn't really work. I was working away a lot when I worked in cricket. My wife used to commute each day, Mrs. John. So it wasn't really until I started working for myself, being at home, and then home working, COVID came in, that it became even sort of practical and plausible. And so then when we did think, okay, my daughter sort of said, can we get a dog? And we thought, well, okay, why not? It kind of was like, we didn't necessarily want a puppy. So we decided to go for, an adult dog and a rescue dog. And so Humphrey popped up, and he pretended to be a normal dog with absolutely no issues whatsoever. And he turned into be an absolute kind of neurotic mess, which many of you will kind of know and associate with Humphrey now, that he just does his own thing. He is an absolute kind of force of nature. But unfortunately, he won us under false premises, Tish. He kind of pretends to be this kind of nice, cute, cuddly dog, but he is emotional. Saw the nose, saw the tail, and it's the patterns, isn't it? I mean, you just imagine what he looked like as a puppy. He's so cute, and we love him dearly, but he is an absolute diva. Unfortunately, it has to be said. And the other thing, of course, we found out when we'd not had him very, very long at all, was that he has a lot of pain in his back end. And we think that this is the problem. This is why he got passed on from pillar to post, was that he lashes out. Now, he hasn't done this for a while, but he bit me fairly early on. Not a very serious bite, as we said, but he was enough as a kind of warning. And then he bit my daughter. So we took him to the vets. We don't know Evelyn. We think he's about 6'7", but we don't really know how old he is because, we didn't get him as a puppy, and he'd been passed on from various families. So he's kind of just gone from place to place to place, and we've sort of become he's a forever home. But obviously, there's not much we know. That the people that got him before us had him for 3 or 4 months. They said that. So I'm not laughing at 3 or 4 months. I'm laughing. He's got a big load of leaves in his mouth. They told us that Humphrey was too energetic for them. Oh, that's rubbish. But in reality, what we think is quite possibly the grandchildren. Maybe he's very very sensitive. His back end. He's got that. What do they call that thing? That hip. You guys will all know about this. Lily has endless bites from it. Yeah. What's it called? Well, the bad hips. That's it. This basically, thank you, Tish. So basically, he hasn't got the smooth ball joints. So we got him X-rayed, which is a big deal. I didn't realize what a big deal X-raying is a dog. They have to have like full general anaesthetic and everything. It was like it cost a lot of money as well. But anyway, when it came back, they said, yeah, he basically he's not in a great way. And they said we could operate, but as an adult dog, it's not always that straightforward. And so thank you, Anne. And by the way, today I'm going to give you some of these in a minute. This is for every tip that he gets. He's getting a bag of this. This is Humphrey's favourite thing. They cost $1.99 a bag, and so all tips today will result in a bag of tasty minis. So if you do contribute over the next few months, Humphrey will be saying thank you. Come here, Humphrey. Come and have some of these. Come here. Come here. Let's see if it can get, because he absolutely loves these. Now, this is a question now. So what, does he love these more or the ball? Hi, Linda. Come here. Let's see. Come here. Well, we're still too excited with the ball. But here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You go. You know some of these? Oh. You see now what a delicate... He's like a thumb. Here, Humphrey. He's deliberately turning his back on us. Here, have a nice treat. Humphrey. Humphrey, come here. Never work with kids' animals, they say, don't they? He's a really delicate little eater. It's kind of surprising because he's sort of so rough in some respects. But what now? I think it's just too excited with his ball at the minute. So the vets told us that, yes, of course, we could have an operation. Thank you, Luann. But in some respects, it was probably better to just look at managing his condition. So he's on painkillers, he's on anti-inflammatories. The kind of difficulty that we had with him was because he's a very, very energetic dog. I mean, much less so now than he was. But yes, I'm not eating for the camera. If I go this way, hopefully, I'll be able to pan him a little bit more. Action shot. So when we first got him, I mean, he was so fast and so energetic. But what you'll see, Becky, is you see he carries his back leg. If you look, the legs should go like that. And what you'll see is he carries his back legs in tandem. They both move at the same. So he's doing it there. Look, he almost hops. So that's an indication of movement that shouldn't be there. It should be a much more like that sort of movement in his back legs. But instead he's like that. Sorry, my fingers, but hopefully. So Mark, we're walking through Nasemire Woods. If I just spin us round here, in a minute we're going to go and have a look at the racecourse stand. So that's York Racers just in front. So big day of horse racing today, but not at York. And Dawn's dog used to skip on her back legs at times. So basically, they're very, very good, aren't they, dogs, at kind of covering up for injury. And so this is the problem, is that we didn't realise how much pain he was in. Other owners haven't in the past. And so consequently, you then go and try and stroke him or budge him up, as I did on the sofa, and he turned around and bit me. This is now well over a year ago. But this is the problem, is because they kind of hide the pain so well, then they just sort of lash out. And so I think this is what's happened numerous times, quite possibly with children, which is why he's just been repeatedly moved on. So we've had it now, in February, it'll be 2 years. So I think that's kind of like coming up for a significant time. He's now very, very settled with us. And, manager, look at all his leaves he's got in his mouth. He's such a wally. You can see he's got a load of leaves in his mouth as well. But, so, he's he's such a pleasure for us. But he's such an idiot at the same time, He's we call him a cartoon dog. He's just sort of cute. He's like a sports jock, He's not kind of intellectual by any stretch whatsoever. We've sort of tried to train him, but we've sort of given up a bit, really. He relies on his good looks and charm. And you can have a breather now, Humphrey. Humphrey, have a breather. Come on, let's. Right, so this is what he does have a breather. So this is what we're kind of trained to do, just to kind of give him some kind of relief when he's kind of running, so he's not putting constant pressure on his back legs. We call it having a breather. Have a breather, good boy, have a breather. And he's quite happy just to sit there and wait now, and we'll just give it a few seconds, just to kind of allow him to look at that face. That's it. No, he's impatient. Oh yes, yeah, his haircut. So he has this habit of every time we get him booked into the Clippers, which doesn't like, he hates being groomed, because we went to groom him every day. And as you can see, he is not a groomed dog. He's not a groomed dog. He's just a sort of scraggly bag, isn't he? And so anyway, we had him booked in, and he often makes a tremendous fuss. Whatever you do, it's a tremendous fuss out of it. And so we had him booked in to get his haircut about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Thank you, Mark. And we told him, I told you guys, remember we were saying that it's high time he had a haircut. So we got him booked in, found him a clipper, and then he developed an ear infection. So, because apparently they have problems with their ears, spaniels, that's sort of quite typical. And so off we went to the vets again, and he made a tremendous fuss again. And then, of course, he had to have, and we're very lucky to have found him, Janie. It's a two-way thing, isn't it? So we're very, I don't know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, his previous groomer, if they rang me up to, we can't cope with him, he's too noisy. He's too shouty for us. So, unfortunately, he was expelled from his previous groomers. So we had to go and find a new groomer. So he's not without his challenges, it has to be said. But he's an absolute delight. We wouldn't have him we will have him with you. Like, what that be? That's it, you have a little breather. But, in between all these kind of his pain and his issues, he's such a happy, friendly chap. And he just loves being part of the family. And everybody, if you came and knocked on our door, he would be your best friend within about 15 seconds. If you stand on his toes, he's always under your feet. It's tremendous for us. But then, like 10 seconds later, you're completely forgiven. I wish there was more people like Humphrey, that are just instantly, they start on the basis of trust and decency. And if you're halfway nice to him, he just gives you 20 times back. He's just an absolute star. But at the same time, he's a complete nightmare at the same time. But a bit like having kids in that. Should we take him onto the grass so you can see the race course? Because he's getting, as you can see, very, very mucky. They are, Becky, wonderful. And I was looking up because I thought, I wonder how long it is, going back in history, that anybody kind of hazard a guess how long, according to the internet, this is, I've known that it's true, but how long humans and dogs have been living together as companions. I know, mucky paws. We're looking very, very mucky indeed. Tongues out there. We evolved, yeah. I mean, it seems like obviously with all these, we don't really know, but at least 30,000 years. It would, wouldn't it? Perhaps you could interview me. Maybe we could have an interview. Humphrey could interview me because. Come on, Lee. Come on then. Should we walk up? So apparently, the oldest sort of records we have are obviously archaeological, and they've found tombs that date back about 30,000 years, where owners have been buried with their dogs, which of course suggests, doesn't it, that there is something very significant in terms of that relationship. It's not simply that they're around, and the theories are that they start with wolves, and that wolves came to humans for food and for shelter, and in exchange they learnt to help with the hunt. So it started off as, if you like, a kind of a sort of symbiotic relationship. That the woods got from the wolves got the food and the shelter and the warmth. The humans got the companionship and the aid with the hunting. So kind of interesting that that's where it should start. That it seems that that's where our domestic dogs have kind of come from. And of course, to a lesser or greater degree, the wolf is still present. I would say the wolf is very much present in this one. In Star Wars, they would say the Force is strong in this one, is what they would say about him. He is an absolute natural, if you know what I mean. He loves nothing better than to sniff out animals. Because we live in an urban area, we've got quite a lot of foxes nearby by the railway line, and he loves nothing better than to be on the sniff and to hunt out. He's kind of, the minute you give him chance, he kind of reverts to natural state, if that kind of makes sense. He really is kind of very, very close to his instincts, if that kind of makes sense. Kathy has border collies. They love to stalk. Well, my sister and brother-in-law have just got a beautiful new border collie, again a rescue dog, that have been used to being chained up by the road. They've only had it a few weeks. Terrified it is, but a lovely natured dog that I'm sure a few months from now will be, great. She's only 4 or 5 years old, but how and why people do this to dogs, in all consciousness, you have to wonder, how they can look themselves in the mirror when they treat animals so shabbily. But there we go. But dogs and people can mend, can't they? Given time, given the right environment, given patience. It is evil. You look at the little faces and you think, how can you justify behaving in such a fashion? But as I say, with time, of course, you have feelings, Janie. I mean, it's absolutely, I think that's beyond question, isn't it? Is the emotional intelligence? They can tell when he's sad, can't they? They can read. I got to spend the week with my family Irish soft Wheaten Terrier, 14 and a half weeks. Oh, must be a really cute puppy. That is that. They have quite sort of long beards, Wheaten Terriers. Is that right? They're the ones I'm thinking of. Of course, they go on the grass because it's a bit mucky. We'll go on the grass. So this is the race course. This is a racetrack here. So I know those in North America are used to seeing racing on sand, whereas obviously we race on turf over here. So this is actually the racetrack for York racers. So come on, let's come over here. So he's getting very, very mucky. Oh, got to fall in a puddle there. He's getting very mucky. So let's throw it onto the track. So it's rather nice over here. We have, basically when the days we haven't got racing on, we've got this area here as just got a recreation. Absolutely, Janie. The execution site at Tyburn, we just put it in the middle of your picture on there, on the kind of tree line. That's where the Tyburn point is. When you go into the middle here, you can see the kind of grandstand and the hospitality facilities for the race course. This is actually the racetrack itself. So we'll get across here as quickly as we can. Not least we don't go to the toilet on it. That'd be embarrassing. Let's get. Go on then. You ready? Off you go. Yeah, Casey, we're really kind of fortunate. So this, they call the Knavesmire, or the Fool's Mire. Very boggy. And this is all drainage land, historically. This is why it was kind of set apart. So, it's quite boggy and wet. So whenever we get periods of rain, this very quickly becomes a lake because it's kind of York's floodland. York sits right at the bottom of a valley. And so consequently, hi Beth, because we're at the bottom of a valley, there's nowhere for the water to go to. It drains out to the North Sea. So designated areas of York are set aside as floodplains. And this is one of them. So you'll get all this in front of us here. Will turn into a lake. There will be seabirds. Within a couple of days, it'll be absolutely covered in seabirds. It's kind of remarkable how when they do the horse racing, Mark, well, they do the horse racing from May to October. Usually a couple of meets a month. So that's 7 months. They will have 10 race meetings or so during that period. And York is known as the Ascot of the North. It is a very, very well established racecourse here. We get the so North Yorkshire is what you call old money. I'm sure some of you will know what I mean by that, insofar as it's land wealth rather than kind of mercantile or kind of business wealth. So that kind of wealth often associates itself with horses. Horses and land wealth go together. So there's lots of the studs up here, there's trainers up here, and there's gallops up here. And so there's a horse racing industry. Plus, of course, around York, you've got Wetherby, where there's races today, jump racing on Boxing Day. You've got Pontefract, racing at Richmond. So a lot of North Yorkshire is given over to equestrianism, not just horse racing, but also all manner, of course, of horses. So it's that kind of place. So consequently, it's not greatly surprising that the horse racing here is very well supported. But of course, most of it now is Arabic money. So we have the Sultan of Dubai and Sheikh Mohammed are huge, huge stakeholders in the York industry. He's really happy, Mark. He's never happier than when he's out and about. I mean, that's the kind of nice thing. They do, like Evelyn's right. The dogs like nothing better than being mucky, do they? I mean, he is a prize example of that. Yeah, he's meant to be white. And if you bath him, although what a fuss he makes if you try and put him in the bath. Goodness me, what a fuss you make, don't you? Now, Humphrey, Humphrey, do you want a treat? Treat, Humphrey? This is how excited he is. These little mini cheeseburger things, which I say is we're buying today for him with the tips, so thank you for those. This normally bites your hand off. But he's so excited about his ball, he can't even pay attention to his favourite treat. Oh, no, he's. But he's wonderfully delicate as well. They're really tiny, as you can see. They're only like little this size thing. So you think he's going to bite you, but he doesn't. He's so dainty and that's it. He loves them. So we call them his cheeseburgers because they are. No, Dawn. Sadly, he doesn't like his bath. He's exactly the opposite. He's a soap dodger, in extremis. He really has no interest whatsoever in being clean. He loves being dirty, and he'll go out of his way. If there's a puddle to be found anywhere, a muddy puddle, you can guarantee you'll find Humphrey sat in the middle of it, laughing his head off, and then expecting to get in the car afterwards. So that's usually when one of us ends up having a long walk home with him, because you do not get in my car looking like that. Banned from the car.com is what you get with it. So yeah, it's got insight into Humphrey's world really, and the whole thing is just play. He likes cuddles. He likes eating. He had a whole pheasant yesterday for his Christmas dinner. Off the bone, of course. Didn't give it to him on the bone. Then he couldn't, because he's such a terrible beggar at the table, that I said, right, I'm going to buy him a whole bird because we like pheasants at Christmas. And as apologies to Jane the vegan on, but I thought, right, he's such a terrible beggar. We'll give him lots of food and then leave us alone. And after he'd eaten all this, he came to the table to have a cursory beg, but he couldn't stand up, so he ended up just laying down on his side because he was so full. He'd had such a belly full of Christmas dinner that he couldn't actually bring himself to beg, which is a first for Humphrey. So yes, he had that and the pasta. So we tend to keep his diet actually on human foods. Don't tend to feed him dog food, but mainly it's kind of rice and pasta diet that he has. That's where he gets his kind of carbs, an awful lot of his protein from, and he likes a lot of things. We discovered recently he likes bananas, apple he likes. So he's got surprisingly very cheese. Cheese is his favourite. If you want to meet Humphrey's friend, come bearing cheese. Dawn has a nap. I think that this is it. This is what he's terribly energetic now, and but then he'll go to sleep for hours on the sofa, and that's the difference we've seen. In the 2 years. Thank you, Bob. In the 2 years, Bob. Thank you. With your tip, you'll be getting a bag of those to keep him happy. Um, so yeah, this is what you obviously you don't see is the bit in between. He very much then just will spend the rest of the afternoon just chilling out and relaxing, and but he's got snuggle blankets. I've posted lots of pictures on Facebook as you've seen him. He has a whole sofa to himself, so he can stretch out, and hopefully with his painkillers, anti-inflammatories, and his rest and his sofa and his comfy, that's how he can manage his pain. And as long as he's active and mobile, then that's fantastic. Obviously, if the pain gets to a different level, then at that stage we need to look at that. But he's nowhere near that at the moment. But we don't kid ourselves. He does live with pain, chronic pain. But I know a lot of you guys on here live with chronic pain. So that isn't to say it's the end of life, is it? But you do need to adapt your life around that. I think that's what he's found, and I think the difference in our house is he's not got young children, so he gets left alone. And then when he wants to come to us, he does so, which is lovely, and he can manage that. But he doesn't get a lot of unnecessary bothering that I think you do get with small little ones. I think that's what it is. You'd say he's not suitable to live with small children now. He might have been at one stage, but he's not now. But I think he's earned the right to be treated in such a fashion that we look out for his needs. He looks after us, so I think it's a two-way street, isn't it? With a pet, you get out what you put in. But look at that smile. I mean, that's a happy boy right there, right? And he's delighted to be in your company. And normally, it's just a little blur on the screen. So it's just nice to allow you to see him a little bit more close, a bit more animated as well. Because photographs, they only go. Thank you, Lorna. We try on something. They only go so far. Photographs, don't they? They capture a bit, but dogs are about movement, aren't they? So it's kind of nice just to allow you a chance to kind of see him. Oh, he's resting now because he's in pain. His back end is hurting because he's done a lot of running after the balls. But right, MB. So on the breed side of things, when we first got him, we were told he was a cockapoo, which is a very popular breed in this country. I don't know about in North America, but it's a breed that there's a cross with cocker spaniels and poodles. So the cocker spaniel is the bigger one, and the toy poodle is the smaller one. But we saw lots and lots of these cockapoos, and he was always bigger. And facially, didn't really look that much like a cockapoo, it has to be said. But you know, if you're told it's a cockapoo, you think, well, he's a cockapoo. But one day, I was near. I was in York basically, and I saw this dog, and it was the spitz, different colour, but just looked identical. You know, like kind of the physiology, the face, the length of his mouth, just the whole setup. You just like it could have been Humphrey, just coloured differently. And so I asked her, I said, well, what breed is it? And they said, oh, it's a Sprudel. And the lady said this dog was a cross between a Springer Spaniel, not a Cocker Spaniel, they're the bigger ones, and a toy poodle. So having looked online, that's what he looks like. If you Google Sprudel, that's what he looks like. So we think, or we say now, he was called a cockapoo, but he identifies as a Sprudel. We'll never know. Dog breed fluid, absolutely. Somebody said the other day we could do a DNA. I sort of don't need to know that really. I mean, he's a Humphrey. He's a Humphredoodle. You know, he's a one-off. There's only one of him. So to my mind, he's a Humphredoodle. But I think that I think they're also called Springer Doodles. Is another one. He's a Humphrey. That's all we need to know. You know, we don't need labels, do we? Right? He's our boy. He's our lad. And you know, there he is. You try put a label on that, and you'll kind of see there's not much point really. He's just a Humphrey, and mixed breed. All right, okay, that's very interesting. So I think Beth, there's apparently I was looking at it and read a while back. The benefit of crossing with poodles is that they don't drop their fur, and Humphrey doesn't. Humphrey doesn't leave any fur traces around. So consequently, for people with allergies, yeah, asthma. I mean, I'm asthma sufferer. So that's ideal. But then you want the kind of the poodles are just nuts. Apparently, I've never had a poodle, but apparently they're just nuts. But the family and sort of friendly orientation of spaniels. So I think this is where they kind of they try and take from animals that are not shedding lots. It doesn't shed at all, even not lots, zero. If I showed you a close up of his rug on the sofa, you'll not see a single hair. It is remarkable. Obviously, he needs clipping, so his hair grows, but he doesn't molt. So I think these are don't drown their first seal, much elegant in the shed. Yeah. So it's just different characteristics. So you know, Sprudels and Cockapoos have been kind of bred to be very kind of friendly, attentive family dogs, meant to be easy to train. But in his case, unless he's eats, I've trained him to eat, and I've trained him to do what he likes. But beyond that, it's not been a tremendous success. But I think he's just too long in the tooth, too old, and too kind of in pain. Or maybe I'm just letting myself off for being a lousy trainer. But we tried to get him trained, but they've become so popular at dogs in the lockdown that all the trainers and people that are any good were all kind of tied up. So, you know, it becomes difficult. But then 8-year-old mixed breed has hip, yeah. So had the operation. So how long did it take, Evelyn? Because our vet sort of said it wasn't particularly in his best interest of the operation. So I'm interested. Has there been a full recovery since the operation? Obviously, he can walk, so we're not in anything like that kind of situation. Yes, oh, that's lovely to know. And how long did that recovery take, if you don't mind me asking, Evelyn? You're having a breather right now. So you can see, I mean, this is, you know, the impact of it now is that he runs for a bit and then he stops and lies down. So this is him, if you like, you know, managing, you know, his pain and obviously with his painkillers. But the minute he's up again, about 3 months for recovery. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. So thank you, Catherine. But as you can see, he's full of life and vim and vigour. He's happy, and it's lovely to know that yours is doing well, Evelyn. So I think we'll start heading back with him shortly. because I don't want him overdoing it, because then obviously he'll be so stiff for such a long time. So, goodness, we're already up at the half an hour. I can't believe that. Humphrey's young. That's it. Well, glucosamine, that's what he's got. That's what he's having. He has his painkillers and the glucosamine, which is, I think, for the muscles, isn't it? So he's on U-Move tablets, anti-inflammatories, and painkillers each day, and also multivits. He has a pretty decent diet, and we try and give him all the exercise that he needs. And right now, that seems to be working. As you can see, his movement isn't. Oh, he caught it. He's not terrible, but he carries his back leg. So he's naturally protecting the back leg in the way that he runs. So, but he's not very graceful, but energetic, as you can see. Well, Santa brought him for Christmas. So Santa brought him for Christmas a new toy, because Humphrey loves to rip things apart. Happiness to Humphrey, MB, is meds can be very expensive. Yeah, his meds are quite a lot each month. So we got him there's a thing called a Kong toys, which are actually durable toys that take a while to rip apart. Well, I would say that within 10 minutes he was well underway ripping it apart. So that was his present, was a bear. He's got another one. He's got a flamingo, a rope flamingo thing he's going to get when we get back home today. So more tours for meds. Yes, we might be fundraising for Humphrey's meds in future, but he's got the new balls that he's playing with today. So animal meds are the same as ours. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you guys put me on to things like antihistamines that you could use for dogs. I mean, it's been tremendously valuable to me, the wisdom and the insight that you guys have kind of brought to some of the things that I can do to help him. Because he seems to be allergic to everything. I mean, he is absolute. Yeah, if you name it, if it could go wrong for him, he will. He gets infections, he gets this, he gets that, he gets the other. Sneezes, yeah. 25. Really, Benadryl. So is that an antihistamine then? MB, 25 milligrams. It's remarkable, because you say you can just walk in a supermarket, obviously, and buy these things for next to nothing, but you buy them from a vet's, and they are very, very expensive to buy these official branded things. So, Humphrey. Hey, caught that one. Little cod liver oil makes him help his smooth the joints. That's interesting. I mean, we do try and give him fish. He has tins of tuna. He has some salmon. He had a side of salmon a couple of weeks ago. Not all in one go, hasten to add, over a few nights. So Lily takes an acid reducer every night. He wants in quarters. Interesting. Linda, can you send me the link for that? I'd be interested to kind of see. So it's all really, I try and keep it as natural as possible. I'm not really into artificial. If it can be done through dietary intake, eating oily fish and this, that, and the other, or appropriate sources, that would be my preferred methodology. But obviously, if there are things that are, appropriate to give him, then that's kind of great too. But I'm kind of big believer in kind of nutrition first, if and where possible. So I know yesterday he ate too much, but generally speaking, we keep him on a good diet, because he's prone to putting on weight. Like a lot of dogs that don't exercise maybe as much as they should, if we're not careful, he will eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then after he's scoffed the blooming lot, he becomes a bit of a porker. So, but he's kind of chilled out a little bit now. So, should we kind of wander back? We'll go back sort of via the woods, a porker absolutely, and then I'll let you guys. Where are we going today then? Have we got some fantastic tours lined up on? How you go? Probably more dramatic. Well, I always thought that Carnival's bloody awful stuff. I think he is starting to slow down, but sort of not so as you'd notice. Oh, Natalie's in Dubai. It's amazing where guides get to. But I think I've noticed that a lot of my colleagues, that they don't have like families and kids and dogs and homes and stuff. So I thought it was odd at first. Like, people go all over the place, but I think that's the difference. Is they have a lot fewer commitments. But how lovely to see Natalie in Dubai, but she goes all over, doesn't she? That's kind of nice for it. Oh, you shouting at us? You shouting at us like that? That's how rude. Nice, ladies and gentlemen, on. You can't shout at them. You can say hello. You say hello. What do you think? Hello. Oh, you noisy boy. You noisy boy. Right, you want a treat now? Humphrey? Humphrey? You want some treats? Come here. Humphrey, Humphrey, Humphrey. Look. No. No, it's yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah. You're going to calm down. Come on, let's have a couple more treats and then we'll start walking back. Should be very good. Yeah. Good boy. Oh, my knee's all wet now. Ash fucking nat. Oh, she's doing a joint one. How nice for him. I've never been to Dubai, so I don't. It's all sort of very glitzy, isn't it? It's sort of desert and then also skyscrapers and that sort of thing, isn't it? That's Dubai, isn't it? Did you name him? No, no. He was called Cody. Wendy, that's a great question. When we got him, he'd also been called something else that I can't remember. Some kind of Pokemon, Oshi or something, Pokemon character. We got various things, but no, we call him Humphrey. Partly because he was because he has kind of like sinus issues, and so he kind of like that. So it seemed. Oh, is it Anna Sue? Oh, you must. I won't be on for that, but do send him my best wishes. Anna, lovely Anna, who's again like Humphrey, has had a big upheaval. Had to kind of change everything about her, but as her lovely warmth, good humour. Oh, let's go. We're going right to the wind now. So wonderful guidance, Anna. Yeah, so I think as long as you don't do it too often. So of course he's got his lovely little Humphrey vest on there. He does harumph. That's it. Yeah, well that's him. That's him. He does harumph. Oh, he's got a new coat as well. So when he finally gets clipped, he's got a new coat to wear. But again, he's not terribly keen on those. But he's going to have to put up and shut up. He does harumph. Yes. Yeah. He that's. He just sort of makes a lot of noises. But yeah, it's absolutely delight because he makes these little cameos. And so I thought, well, do you know what? As it's Christmas, he can have his own Christmas special. He's going to sing a Christmas number for you in a moment. He's going to get up on his stool, and the lights are going to go down, and we've got a Christmas. No, I'm joking. You haven't really got a Christmas number. But if he could, he would. Do you think what would he be a crooner or a rocker? What do we think? Is he a smoother? What do we think? He's still got energy yet. So crooner, rocker, the opinions divided. Rocker for sure. I think with that hairstyle, he's probably a bit of a rock boy. I think he's a bit unorthodox. I think he ploughs his own furrow, and yeah, I think he's a bit unorthodox. So I'm thinking rocker too. So my hand is getting very, very cold. I've gone well over my allotted 30 minutes. You've all been lovely and delightful. I want to be able to take him in my hand so I don't get accessing too hard if he hurts himself. It's been a lovely pleasure to see you. It's so nice to come together on Boxing Day. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you've done in supporting me. This year, we've got one more tour in 2022, and we're going to be telling our story of Christmas, that strange history of Christmas. So, yeah, especially to Humphrey. So, I hope you can join me for that on the 29th. Otherwise, that's it for 2022, which is just crazy. But we're going to see him 2023 on the 2nd with a nice walk around York's lights. It'll be a relaxed, chilled tour, look at the lights, see York all illuminated, spend some time together. We'll share our wishes for the new year. We'll get down to the wishing tree. We'll talk about our resolutions. We'll talk about some of the history of New Year as well. Where did that come from? And we will just spend some time together and bring in 2023 in a way and then let go of 2022. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, as ever, Mrs. John, for being an able assistant. And of course, the star of the day is our boy, our lad, this furry lummox here. Here he goes, furious, funny fella, Mr. Humphrey. So it's been an absolute delight to spend time with you guys here. And from York, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to give you a wave and say absolutely happy holidays to everybody. Genuinely, hope you have a lovely rest of your day, wherever you're going to. And do send my regards to Anna and Natalie in Dubai and Ashrak. And I shall see you all very, very soon. So thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.